But I do wonder if there was like if it's like a Boy Scout thing, if there's like a actual like a training kids program in case they need somebody to go out and do missions like this, you know? I mean, like where would you pick Reiner, Bertholdt, and Annie from? Like what pile, what group of people?
Oh my God, I just had a thought. What if they were all from the same little small town, and whoever is the heads of this society that they're from purposefully picked this little out of nowhere town as this experiment on these kids or something? A lot of times, like, people, like heads of society organizations will purposefully pick something out of the main site of people
so
to
they
do
don't
their
know?
dirty work, so it's like kind of underground. They
so like the main part of society wouldn't know that?
Yeah, maybe like purposefully pick this little faraway village and these couple kids, that no one's gonna miss except their dad.
Yeah, it doesn't seem at all like the orangutan is like the same person who is Annie's dad. That being said,
you are not the father.
That being said, that kind of lends a little bit more credence to our idea that the orangutan and Aaron are related, because Annie's Titan looked nothing like any of the family we know, like Grisha or Aaron. Man, I miss Annie so much.
I want Annie to come back in this story, not just for Bertholdt, but because I think, like, maybe out of all of the other characters, I think I appreciated, like, I like Mikasa and Annie interactions, but there was something different about, like, Armin and Annie interactions.
I also liked Annie and Aaron interactions.
Okay, yeah.
So I have a question. Do you think, like, it said that we had, like, information from the interior police to build these Thunder Spears? Do you think that came from, like, the, like, Kenny's group, the anti-ODM gear? Do you think that, like, that technology and their guns went into...
I can see that.
Development. Okay, do you want to read this?
Yeah, okay. Information available for public disclosure. Thunder Spears, which is a great name, by the way.
Amazing.
A weapon developed to combat the stout defense of the armored Titan using technology formerly kept secret by the interior police. Though challenging to wield, it can deliver a concentrated blow comparable to a strike of lightning. A great name, because it's like a strike of lightning.
It does. It's so interesting that it's kept secret by the interior police. It seems like potentially any technological advance
is kept
that
secret.
somebody makes needs to be stopped so that like your whole society doesn't advance any further.
We haven't met any inventors.
Yeah.
Probably because they were murdered.
Honestly.
I think that this weapon is cool. I think especially because it would have to be someone. You can't just use it willy-nilly because it could kill you.
Yeah.
So they have to be well-trained individuals that are very good at sticking to their goal and not going to get distracted. And I think it was funny because the one character who would possibly be the weakest at that is Connie. And after the blow, he kind of like tumbles to the point where his hood flies over his face, so that fit. Like, he's not necessarily, I wouldn't say, well, what is it? He's not as quick as everyone else, maybe. I
don't want to hear any Connie slander.
It's not Connie slander.
Know,
he's
kidding.
Adorable. He reminded me of, like, Aang from Avatar or something.
Interesting.
Just in how he looked when the hood fell over him and he, like, fell on the roof. That's what it made me think of.
I can't get past, like, the inventor thing. Like, I imagine, like the Wright brothers growing up, they're like age 7 and they're like, what if one day we could fly?
Someone had a hot air balloon and they killed him.
Yeah.
Airplanes are a no-no.
Yeah, I love it.
Just the invention of a balloon, like a little handheld balloon alone, probably got someone murdered.
So interesting to think, because like now for the first time ever, I wonder if, like, take Titans out of the scenario, right? If there was a 10-year time skip after Historia took charge, how advanced would we have gotten?
I mean, to think about our own life.
Yeah.
Like, I have coworkers who are a lot older than me, and so do you. And recently they were discussing blackberries and stuff, and how that was so cool when they had like.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the fruit. I was like, fruit didn't exist back then.
And how that was so cool. And obviously there's always like the computer conversation, like they had to use a typewriter or something, and how, and they were recently, the coworkers were recently talking about how that feels like it was like, when they actually hear how long it's been since that, it doesn't seem like a crazy amount of time to be able to go from this to that and what we have now. So yeah, in this 10-year imaginary time skip with Historia not murdering inventors, just in a couple weeks they used this ore for lights, and they created these thunder spears.
Yeah.
I would love to see what they would come up with 10 years. It's
interesting because it's like, I think part of the reason that technology had advanced two examples here, like the ore being used in homes and as a lantern, and then the thunder spears, is like when people like have a mission, especially if it's something that's like rooted in fear and danger, and like they have like mission because of those things. Like we got the microwave from like building space shuttles and satellites, like building like enhanced technology for like a weaponary use or like scouting use, that can like trickle down and affect
to day-to-day life.
And it's so interesting to think about, if that imaginary 10-year time skip happened, how much would we have grown? We have ore, can you eat it? Can you boil it?
I really did think we were gonna see them unveil these glowing ore swords that were gonna look really aesthetic and really nice. So
I kind of like that they didn't, because it's like their only advancement didn't come from the Titans. This was like human.
I mean, this was it is nice. You're right. It didn't come from this new discovery. What it came from was uncovering secrets.
Yeah,
which is another big thing that's a theme of the show, is that we're trying to uncover this information and these things that have been kept secret and kept away from the commoners and the everyday citizens.
How do you feel about Erwin's selfishness? Do you think that Erwin's selfishness will lead him to not seeing what's in the basement?
I honestly believe that his selfishness is the only reason they've gotten this far.
No, I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. I'm just talking like narratively. Do you think because he has that selfishness, he is therefore doomed to never get that information?
Oh, narratively?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Because
can't get no satisfaction.
Even if he's on death's door and he's able to know what's in the basement, I don't know how that concludes, you know? Like it was, oh yes, he got it before he died, you know, or like, I don't know. We already kind of got like a bad sign for Erwin's life expectancy when he decided to go against Levi's suggestion and come with.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Oh, you're right. Levi did try to convince him to stay. And what happens to characters when we get foreshadowing that they were supposed to do something else and they decided to be stubborn? Oh, that doesn't look good.
We had an amazing visual.
The stare-off.
Of what?
The stare-off?
No, that too. But I was gonna like more on the Erwin front of him standing on the bodies of everybody that, right or wrong, was sent to their death. I'd say right, because regardless of his own selfishness that he put in the back of his head,
and the fact that we recognized some of them,
especially
the ones at the very top,
they've made more advancements and have had more chance at victory than ever before in the Scout Regiment because of that motivation.
And the people that go into the Scouts, they know that. They know that they are basically pawns, disposable, in order to further humanity's chance of survival and freedom and discovery. And I don't think any of those people have died in vain because of the fact, like, especially now that we've basically gotten rid of a corrupt regime and we have the Scouts are now getting the send-off they deserve. I don't think any of those people died in vain, because their sacrifices led to the Erwin being in charge and led to the survival of Hanji and Levi. And, you know, like, And Aaron's survival.
Yeah. I think Erwin is one of the best characters in the show, so hands down. I think that the choice to make him his own person and who has his own selfish desires was so much better than it would be if he was just I believe in the cause.
Which
I'm
I think
scout
is what
leader.
We would like to think. Oh, wouldn't that be the best leader? That be the one that's like, we're all doing this for humanity and truly means it. No, like obviously we're learning here that it's better to have some selfish desires to be able to be a good leader.
I am surprised that Erwin had told other people his father's theories.
Especially when that's what got his father killed.
Yeah.
I thought that would have been the moment that he never talked about it again.
Yeah. Interesting.
I liked at the beginning of the episode, as Reiner's trying to figure out how they found out that he was hiding in the wall, he calls upon, like, Armin, was it you kind of thing? How did they even think to look inside? Oh, you went to it. How did they even think to look inside the walls? Armin, was it you? And then he kind of, like, squints up a little bit. I like that because it's he didn't need to like wonder how they found out, you know, because that's a hindsight thing. Yeah. He's in the middle of a battle. He didn't need to think about that. They did that so that we would see that someone else is highlighting and realizing that Armin has the smarts.
And not just someone else. I think it also does wonders for Reiner's character because we have had that like soldier versus warrior mentality with him, and he can't run away from the fact that these years he spent with these people is now a part of who he is in his memory. He can't erase that. It's a part of him and the way he thinks. Mm-hmm. It's awesome.
And that's why it was so hard for Sasha, Connie, and Jean to do that second attack with the Thunder Spears.
Not Jean. I think Jean, for half a second thought, but then he, snapped himself out of it, which was so rewarding to see. I love Jean. I love him so much, Hannah.
I also love Jean.
I love the stare down that you mentioned.
Doing Irvi.
That's like a ship. That's a ship.
Oh, that is a ship. Erwin and Reiner.
Yeah, it's great.
The confidence, and honestly, in that stare down, I gotta say Erwin was more intimidating.
Well, Erwin has this I don't give a fuck what happens to me attitude that is so intimidating.
There's also something really intimidating about bright blue eyes.
They can be piercing.
Yeah, the piercing.
Yeah. Thunder Spears is probably the best name ever. You could ever think of.
Sounds like a band name.
It's so metal. I don't see Reiner dying this instance.
I really don't want that to happen.
I don't know. I wonder where Berthold is. Part of me's in an alternate universe, is he left the battle and is going to get Annie, and they're gonna run off together?
Oh my god! What if he used this as a distraction so that he could go find Annie?
Well, the orangutan wouldn't have that.
Yeah,
but
no.
That would be interesting.
But where? I mean, that's a really great question to pose. Is where would it be good for Berthold to be located? Where would the Beast Titan want him to be? What would he be wanting him to wait for?
Part of me doesn't think he's also in the walls, but that's a possibility. We saw the holes with light coming through. He could be in the basement. He could be in a random house. He could be in the crates. I don't know. I
thought maybe he might be in the outer wall or something. But I'm not sure. Because that would be the other place that if they're cornered here, then the only place they can go is out. And remember when Reiner was painting that picture of Aaron running out and going around?
Yeah.
So that, to me, I was like, well, the only place that he could be is there, right?
He could be dressed up as a horse, and he could be, undercover. I'm just, stating equally potential ideas and theories.
I think we were given Marlowe so that we could have a real reason to see what's happening down, because none of our other people are down there other than Levi, I guess. Yeah. But I think we were given Marlowe in order to kind of further the idea of, what did Levi say, that all of these weaker people are down there with the horses, and they should be able to beat these 3-meter tall titans quicker.
It was almost Well, it most definitely was like Levi was like, what's the point of these people even being down here? They're not doing anything. And that does like hit home the point. Like we've lost so many good people, like so many skilled people.
And we're being told that the weaker of the people are being entrusted with the horse mission with Levi, of course.
Yeah.
But everyone else that's stronger, that puts our crew in the eyes of Levi as the ones that are stronger.
Yeah.
And like Hanju's squad too is with everyone inside the walls.
One thing I want to say is that we've talked about it previously that some of our family watches the show.
Yes.
I'm going to be referencing Anna's father here. He has watched up till maybe season 2.
He's finished season 2.
Okay. But
he has not started season 3 yet.
He watches dub because that's his preference. One of my favorite pieces of Attack on Titan media that I've ever consumed that is shown as a flashback in this episode is No Regrets. From what I understand, there is no dub for No Regrets. I wonder if the people watching the dub of this show were like, what is this? Like the scene of like Levi being held back.
Levi, there is the visual over Erwin saying, thus I fooled my comrades. And we know that Levi has been following whatever he believes Erwin sees in his mind. And we're basically getting confirmation here that Erwin is aware that Levi is following him for this undisclosed vision or dream of Erwin's. I don't think Levi would be upset.
Oh, I don't think
I don't think
I
at
think
all.
he kind of has an inkling.
I think he already knows. I mean, he's already said that he's doing it because of whatever Erwin sees.
Yeah.
And it's because that Erwin has a goal and has a path and has a dream. And it doesn't matter what that is. It just matters that he has that resolve and that drive. And that's why Levi follows him. Not because of the specifics of whatever it is that Erwin wants.
I just feel bad for the dub fans who were watching this episode and they're like, whoa, what's this? And like they never got No Regrets. I hope that happens so your dad can watch
really
it.
do hope that they dub that. I mean, Yosei's Notebook was like really great too, but like specifically No Regrets,
it was so emotional and it was so good. I think the pincer attack idea would have been kind of sick too, of like Eren coming behind the Beast Titan. That could have made a cool thing, but I think that they probably made the right choice trying to
give them a taste of their own medicine.
Yeah, I wonder if we are going to see Eren like use his powers here, like the founding Titan powers, but he'd have to have ammo.
We have reason to think that he's going to do something extra by Reiner saying that we need to get him before he learns it all, basically, or before he is able to completely use the coordinate.
It's interesting. All right, I think that's all I have of you.
I think so.
Cool. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time. How do you feel about Erwin's selfishness? How do you feel about Erwin's selfishness? How do you feel about Erwin's selfishness?
How do you feel about Erwin's selfishness?